Hi everyone, I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you had a restful Sunday, and I hope you're staying safe at home. Well, today I want to talk about colitis. Ulcerative colitis is a huge problem that plagues thousands of people across the world. And yes, you must continue to take the medication that your doctors give you, but you don't have to be reliant on them for a lifetime, because we need to understand that at some point you need to address the root cause of what has got your colon inflamed. So always, if you're trying to heal a condition, if you're trying to recover, there are two things involved. Address the root cause and understand what is going on in your system. For example, if you own a business, you need to understand how the business works if you're going to be successful. It's the same thing with the human body. If you want great health, you need to understand how the human body works. If you have a disease, you need to understand how that disease works in your body so that you can make your action plan to take care of it. Now, colitis can be caused by several things. The most common thing is a poor lifestyle. People who have chronic constipation and then they try to fix it the simple way by taking laxatives and purgatives and all of that stuff. These are the most common ways to get colitis. You need to understand that if you have constipation, you are keeping waste, toxic waste in your colon for a period which is very long, until you pass your next stool. I always ask people, when I explain it to children, I know it's a little gross, I just tell them, because a lot of kids have constipation and they think it's okay. They wake up in a hurry in the morning and their parents don't let them go to the toilet. They put them on the school bus or take them to school, and that is really bad for your children. Your kids and you should pass a stool the first thing in the morning. That is the cycle of nature. You eat during the day. While you sleep, your body breaks down everything. There's waste that's collecting. When you wake up in the morning, that's why you have dirt between your eyes, your mouth smells, signifying that there was a detoxification process that happened while you sleep. And now you have waste in your colon and it needs to pass out. You can't wait till midday. You can't wait till later. And if you do have to, you have an issue with your system that you need to correct. It's as simple as that. You need to correct the system. Sending a child who has not passed a motion to school in the morning is really bad for them. Number one, they're developing very weak gut health. Number two, they're not going to be able to focus and concentrate because that waste is in their system producing gases and something called brain fog that can actually cause a child to be very lethargic and an adult, low concentration levels, or even behave in a very hyper way. Then you take your child to a doctor, they get labeled with ADHD and hyperactive and all of that crap. Or they have an issue with cognitive disorders and they're sent to a psychologist for cognitive behavior function, and they're given a whole load of medication where, guess what, the root cause was constipation. They didn't pass a motion in the morning. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you're sending your child to an international school, a normal school, an expensive school, or a school that doesn't charge money. Okay, the human body doesn't change. They need to pass a motion in the morning. So if they need to wake up earlier, wake them up earlier. It's your job as a parent to put them to sleep earlier so that they don't compromise their sleep. They don't wake up in a hurry. They wake up, they follow the routines that the human body requires, and then they go to school. It comes down to discipline. So what exactly is colitis? We have our small intestine and we have our large intestine. The large intestine is the colon, and that's where it all starts. You have two kinds of colitis. You have a mucus colitis, which is usually caused because of irregular bowel movements, a little bit of too much of mucus. So people with mucus colitis will find out that they pass a lot of mucus in their stools. It's very sticky. It'll stick to, the toilet bowl, and they'll have a lot of discomfort like bloating, acidity, and sometimes even see pieces of undigested food in their stools. Now, when it becomes ulcerative colitis, like the word says, there are ulcers that are formed on the thin, delicate membrane of the colon. And that creates a lot of inflammation, a whole load of different problems. You need to understand that this is serious. And because it's serious, it doesn't mean it's complicated and you can't take care of it. You have to make major lifestyle changes. A lot of people take the medication, which they should, but a lot of them don't change their lifestyles, and after a while even the medication doesn't work, and then you're sold expensive injections that have not even completed all of their trials on human beings, and you just start getting into a vicious cycle of something that cannot sort out the root cause, which is your lifestyle. Or sometimes of late, in fact over the last couple of weeks, I've been seeing a lot of cases, patients where it has been induced by a viral attack. You need to understand that bacteria and viruses can also cause inflammation in the colon. It can cause innumerable problems, which is why we always say when you have a prolonged symptom, please get it checked up. Sometimes you may want to not take an antibiotic for a bacteria. Okay, but if the symptoms prolong, you must listen to your doctor and take the antibiotic. There are many ways of preventing the side effects of an antibiotic with lifestyle, but you should, because if a bacteria is not killed, the bacteria can raise havoc in different parts of your body. Do you know that sometimes your arteries of your heart can be attacked by viruses, by a viral that you had for a long, long time? And that can create inflammation and problems in your heart as well. So viruses and bacteria are not just colds and coughs and stomach bugs. They can impact any part of your body, including your brain, and create a lot of problems. So we need to understand, my last few cases have all been people who have gone through severe food poisoning at some point, where they had to actually be hospitalized. So the bacteria did a lot of damage in their small intestines and their large intestines. And then we have viruses. We have viruses that prolonged. In fact, we have a lot of patients who have gone through dengue and a lot of other virals, and later they've had side effects of severe gut issues. We need to understand that you have to look after your colon. So one is viruses and bacteria, and of course, anything that affects your gut. Small intestine, large intestine will impact your immunity. So you can be spending a lot of money on superfoods to boost your immune system, but if you don't have good gut health, your immune system is going to be low. So fix the root cause, which is your gut. When you have a poor lifestyle, a lot of people change their eating habits. All of a sudden they move from home cooked food to all of their meals outside. We notice a lot of children who develop colitis. They move from India to London and the States to study. And from a home cooked meal and basic Indian food, they move on to pizzas and white foods and white refined foods. And within 6 months, they have all the symptoms of colitis, sometimes mucus, sometimes ulcerative colitis. And they need to change their eating patterns in order to solve the condition. And we see this with students that keep moving to the US and London. So understand, you are going out, you want to try new foods, but transition very, very slowly. People who have chronic indigestion and acidity also start messing up their small intestines and their large intestines. You see, your entire digestive system starts from the mouth. It's not just your stomach, it's not just your colon, the way you chew your food, the way it travels down your esophagus, into your stomach, from your stomach to your small intestine, your large intestine, and then all your nutrients and all the toxins have to be filtered out from your liver to your kidney. It is a complex process, it's an intelligent process. But sadly today, when we have a problem in the colon, we only look at the colon. We don't look that the colon is also interconnected with the small intestine, which is interconnected with your gallbladder, your pancreas, your stomach, your esophagus, and the way you chew your food. So when you're looking at addressing a root cause, you need to look at the body as a whole. You can't just look at inflammation in the colon and suppress it with medication after medication. Guess what? You'll suppress it for a while, you get immune to that, and then your doctor's going to change your drug. Like I said, take your drug, but you have to change your lifestyle, period, if you want to get better. So coming down to what exactly is this? They're ulcers. Your colon wall has a thin membrane, a thin wall. Okay, through this wall, we absorb a lot of water. It mixes with digested food that's come into your system. You absorb a lot of nutrients, and you have friendly gut bacteria over here. It is so important that inflammation will spoil the process of your microbiome and your gut, which is why you have an issue with your stools. So then you start having ulcers, and that's why your stools have blood, pus, and mucus in them. So what we need to do is, you need to understand that you need to keep the wall of this colon healthy. Okay, the wall of this colon has to be healthy based on the kind of food that you eat. So let's talk about some of the other side effects of UC, which is ulcerative colitis. A lot of people with this start losing weight. They start looking malnourished because the nutrition has to be absorbed into your system and assimilated. It gets assimilated and absorbed in your intestines. But if you have a fault over there, you can eat as much as you want, but you will not be absorbing most of the nutrition. And that's why you have malnourishment. You'll have vitamin deficiencies, you lose weight, you feel exhausted, you feel tired, you feel irritable, and sometimes you even feel depressed. So a lot of depression is also related to the health of your gut. You have to consider the health of your gut when you are treating someone who has depression, because the connection is real. I can create brain fog, which may make me feel I'm depressed, but all I have is really a gut issue. And with that brain fog and feeling lethargic throughout the day, even my small problems become very, very big. And that troubles me. It's a small problem, but it's made into a big problem because I don't have the mental capacity. I don't have the mental energy to handle what life is throwing me. And that's why depression also has to be connected with colitis and the gut. Okay, so like I said, even allergies can cause it. Allergies from foods, gluten intolerance, lactose, lactase, eggs, chicken, depends on you. If there is a food that doesn't suit you, please understand that you have to stay away from that food because that food can irritate that thin membrane of your colon, your gut, and it can create more and more problems. Anything that irritates your skin, like take a stone and just keep rubbing it on your skin. Irritate your skin gently with a stone. After a while, you notice inflammation happening. That's the natural defense mechanism of the human body. So if something irritates your gut, the response of the human body is inflammation, and it is inflammation that creates all of your symptoms and the biggest problems with colitis. So you need to see IBS is not something you should be living with. IBS is connected with your dietary habits and anxiety and stress. So yes, stress and chronic anxiety can also contribute towards your colitis. It's contributing towards your IBS. If you're passing 10 to 15 motions in a day, just the habit of passing a motion is irritating your colon. It's irritating your gut lining, which is creating inflammation and problems with your stools. So it is not okay to live with these problems. I think we've all been lied to enough that take this pill and go back to your life. I'm not here to say stop the pill. Take the pill, but change your lifestyle. We've been lied to enough. If it was the truth, we wouldn't have so many people suffering from these diseases every single day. Your medicine is required to suppress your symptom. It is your job to work with your health professionals to address the root cause and make changes in your diet, exercise, sleep, your stress levels if you want to get better. But let me tell you something, colitis patients who are living on medication because they don't change their lifestyles, they live a life of misery. Constant visits to the toilet, they can't eat most foods, they can't go out and socialize because they need to keep running to the toilet. You don't have to live that way. You can change it if you're willing to change your lifestyle. So be careful of allergens in certain foods, which is why it is so important for you that when you look at your nutrition, you need to eliminate the foods that are causing discomfort. And you need to add foods that can repair your gut. So a lot of people are constipated because of this. We have thick fecal matter that basically hangs onto the colon walls. Your answer is not going to a spa where you do a colon flush and all of that crap. No, you're going to be good for a few days. You need to have a colon that is working well every single day because you're pooping every single day. So you can't decide once in a year or once in 2 years, I'm going to go and do a colon irrigation and I'm going to be all fine. Guess what that colon irrigation is going to do? It's also going to flush out the good bacteria. It's going to upset your microbiome and it could take you 3 to 6 months to repopulate that. You don't have to do things which are unnatural. When you give your body the right food, automatically your colon is clean every single day. You need to do it every day. I love this lifestyle of some people. You know, they go once in a year to a retreat house or to a spa and they say, I'm going to do 15 days over there and come back to their crap lifestyle. Well, guess what? You feel good for 15 days and then you come back to your crap lifestyle and you start feeling crappy again because the human body cannot wait for you to start getting better. You need to look after it every single day. So a simple way of cleaning up fecal matter that's hard in your colon is warm water with maybe a teaspoon or a tablespoon depending on your weight and your condition. So don't take me literally. Okay, you need to take it according to your symptoms and everything else. But if you don't have symptoms, what you can do is in a glass of warm water in the morning, warm water, a tablespoon of cold pressed virgin, extra virgin olive oil. Mix it together and consume that glass. That helps you to loosen the fecal matter in your colon. You don't like olive oil, you can do a plain ghee, either a teaspoon or a tablespoon. It really depends. I'm not giving you this as a fixed dosage. It depends on so many factors. Even pure ghee can loosen up fecal matter in your colon. And what we need to understand that cold pressed coconut oil is amazing for colitis again because of the medium chain fatty acids that can reduce inflammation in your colon and as well as your small intestine, and it can also help you loosen fecal matter. So I can mix that pure ghee with warm water, I can mix coconut oil with warm water, I can mix olive oil with warm water. That is up to you. Now a lot of people overdo it on fiber. When you have colitis, you know, your body may be okay with fiber or fiber may actually irritate your colon. So just don't go and start Googling and say fiber is good for the gut, so you start overdoing it on fiber. There are so many people who have messed up their gut health and made their colitis worse because they overdo it on fiber. There's soluble fiber and there's insoluble. It has to be calculated into your plan according to your symptoms. Fiber suits some people. A lot of fiber creates irritation for some people. When you have colitis with constipation, doing an enema once a month, get your doctor to do that for you, is therapeutic because it'll help you to loosen that fecal matter again. What you want to avoid is all your white foods, your white sugar, your white refined flours, coffee, unfortunately tea as well, junk food, ultra processed food, because this just irritates the gut. You can do infusions, you can do you can do infusions of like chamomile tea, rooibos tea. There are so many herbal infusions that don't have caffeine. But for most people, caffeine will irritate the gut, so you got to be careful of that. So please be careful of fad diets that tell you to drink 2-3 cups of black coffee with butter in, or ghee in, or MCT in on an empty stomach. Because if you have a weak colon or inflammation in your colon, it's going to make your condition worse. Please understand that. Now, resistant starch is absolutely fantastic for your colon, whether you have ulcerative colitis or whether you just want to make your gut healthy. Resistant starches are starches that don't get digested in your small intestine. So they travel into your large intestine where they feed the good bacteria. And then this good bacteria in your colon breaks down and actually digests the resistant starch, producing something called a short chain fatty acid, something like butyric acid, which is also found in pure ghee, coconut oil. Okay, you find it in chickpeas, you find it in rajma. But again, you got to be careful of these foods because they can also irritate your gut. The best source is green unripened banana. It is fabulous for your colon and for colitis, or you can even use potato starch, or you can use cooled rice. So if you have leftover white rice, cool it, okay? And what you can do is soak it in water in a clay pot overnight, and in the morning have that water, have that rice kanji water, and have the rice. It is excellent for your colon. You will feed the good bacteria, which in turn can reduce inflammation and also produce the short chain fatty acids, which reduces inflammation and increases the absorption of your nutrients into your system. This is so important for people who are going through cancer as well, because the chemotherapy and radiation also ruins, unfortunately, your gut health and your colon, creating inflammation. So you must be on resistant starches. You find them in your dals and your lentils and all your basic foods. You don't have to spend money on expensive food to get better. Okay, what I also want to talk about, coconut water is great for the gut. It is great for people with colitis, but again, it suits some people, it doesn't. So find out what works for you and what doesn't. If you're not lactase intolerant, you should be of wheat, you should be of milk, lactose, 100%. But if you can tolerate buttermilk, buttermilk is also excellent for repairing inflammation in your colon and also populating your microbiome. You want to make sure you get ethically sourced milk that doesn't have hormones in, that doesn't have estrogen or antibiotics in. So you want to look at A2 yogurt, okay, not milk but yogurt. That's great for you. Your prebiotics, your probiotics, even raw honey is fantastic for the gut. Raw honey has the ability to repair cells which are damaged with inflammation. So it makes your gut better, which means less discomfort, less gas. Don't strain when you're passing a stool. Please understand this. Most people get piles and hemorrhoids and they mess up their colon when they try to strain. Straining puts a lot of back pressure on this very thin membrane, creating a lot of inflammation, so do not strain your stools. So finally, these are little things that you can do. It comes down to your diet, it comes down to your exercise. If you're sedentary, your colitis is going to get worse. If you're not sleeping well, your body doesn't have the ability to heal. And I already told you about the impact of fear, anxiety, and chronic emotional stress on your gut. The correlation is real. The more stress you have, the more inflammation you will have in your gut. And that is how autoimmune conditions are also caused. Please understand this. It's called a leaky gut syndrome. So for example, you have good bacteria and bad bacteria growing in your gut. You need both of them. The problem is when the bad bacteria starts growing more than the good bacteria. Now this bacteria starts trapping a lot of gas in you. It disrupts the microbiome, so it disrupts nutrient assimilation and absorption, and it starts poking into the thin intestinal walls. It's a very delicate wall, creating small holes, and that's where you get the term of leaky gut. Now certain molecules that are supposed to exit your body squeeze through these holes into your blood. It's not supposed to be inside your blood, so your immune system wakes up and starts attacking it. Some of these molecules resemble the thyroid gland. So your immune system attacks your thyroid gland, you have a Hashimoto's. Some of these molecules resemble your joints. It attacks your joints, you have arthritis. Some of it attacks your nervous system, your arteries, different parts of the body. You can have systemic lupus, you can have vitiligo, you can have multiple sclerosis, and all of these things. So leaky gut I'm not saying it's responsible completely. There could be other symptoms that also cause autoimmune conditions, but you have to consider the health of the gut in the treatment of every autoimmune condition, every low immune problem, every cancer case, every depression case. And that is why they say your gut is your second brain, the enteric nervous system. But too many people out there live with acidity, bloating, popping antacids because they don't want to change their lifestyle. Well, you pay in terms of the consequences of what you do not do. So please understand colitis. Yes, it's serious, but can it be sorted out? Can you make it better? Absolutely yes. The diet may not be fun for you because you got to cut out a lot of fun things like sugar and coffee, but that's a choice. If you want to get better, guess what? The body can get way better. It's resilient. It has the ability to repair itself. The repair process has been compromised because of your lifestyle, because of a badly behaved virus or a bacteria that wasn't taken care of in the first place, which is why it brings us down to one word: immunity. At the end of every disease, whatever it is, you have to invest in your immune system, because that is your first and last line of defense system. If I'm going to allow a virus or a bacteria to get into my body and create ulcerative colitis for me, okay, I don't want that happening. I want to invest in my immunity. And if you have colitis or digestive issues or constipation, let me tell you right now, it is not okay to live with it. You got to fix it. Too many people out there relying on laxatives every single day of their life. It's not okay. You can take it once in a way, but guess what? What does a laxative do? It pushes everything out of your system with force. What does that cause? Irritation of that thin membrane called your colon wall. Where's the problem when you have ulcerative colitis? On your colon wall. So address the root cause. You can get better. This is not something that you have to live with. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep.